Random Josh, and I'm back again with another Random Monday video. So today I kind of wanted to do a video surrounding apprenticeships. I think I've done a few of these before, but I just thought it's September time now, people are going back to school, they're starting off their apprenticeships, and so I thought this is probably like the best time to actually post about this. So I'm basically just going to be going over my personal tips and tricks to help you get through an apprenticeship. So obviously, as many of you know, I was actually an IT apprentice. I now work full-time for the company that I was an apprentice for, so you know, I've got through that year and I've done, I'd say, well for myself. I don't actually know the grades yet, they haven't told us like what the officially marked ones are. I know in terms of coursework I did everything and I got all the marks for it, but I don't know if, because obviously they have to verify externally, like, you know, it gets checked to make sure that their marking is actually correct, because it's all marked internally. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what I get, but enough about me, let's talk about you. So my first tip would be, just from the very beginning, just stay on top of all of like the coursework or exams. I don't know how your ones are working, because obviously I did mine with like a company called Step Forward. Each different class, so you could either do like IT, business, hospitality, to name a few. Each of those had different kinds of ones. My one, the IT course, was actually fully coursework based. I know the business one was fully exam based. So it just depends on what area yours is and how how they run it for you, basically. So if it is coursework based, just when you get given it, just do it. It's like half of it is not that hard, and you know, if you leave it to the last minute, because this is where I went wrong before. I used to leave all of my work to the last minute, and then I'd rush around doing it, and it wouldn't be to a high standard, it wouldn't be good enough, and it would just stress me out even more. So this past year I actually took a different approach, and I started doing my coursework a lot more. So I dedicate that little chunk more time, but I'd do it in a different way, which I'm going to discuss a bit later. But just getting it done early really helped. First of all, it meant that I got signed off a lot earlier than all of my fellow apprentices. And second of all, it meant that I was less stressed, because I was kind of ahead of the game. So I'd done the coursework before it was like handed nearly. Some of them, that actually happened on a couple of them. But yeah, I think it's just good to get yourself ahead of the game so you're prepared. Because if you're not, and then it starts building up, and then you find that you look down, you've got, say, a month left, and you've got all of this like piled up work to do, and you're stressing out, you're like, oh my god, how do I dedicate the time effectively, and what do I prioritize? Do I do the easy ones? Do I do the hard ones? And then by the time you've just had that all jumbling around in your mind, the time's up, you know, it just goes so quickly. So yeah, that's probably the biggest tip of mine. I rambled on with that for so long. Oh Jesus. So my second tip is probably just breaking up the workload that you do. So if you've got I mean, this is based on my experiences, because obviously I did coursework. I did little bits of coursework here and there. So if I was at work and I had like a spare 5-10 minutes, I'd sit there and just do a little bit on that. So obviously not everyone's job caters for that. They might be really busy, but I often had times where I wasn't as busy as possible, and so I asked them if it was okay if I could dedicate a little chunk of time just to doing that coursework, and that actually helped me a lot. So that meant that then I could go home and I could just relax a little bit more, you know, have some more me time. So I'd say just making the use of as much time as possible, as well as doing it in shorter chunks, just because sitting down and doing, like, typing out a bloody essay for like a couple of hours, that would kill me. But I actually really surprised myself on how much I used to write. I think I actually calculated it, but I think my average word count was something like, I think I ended up writing like, how many words was it? I think 80,000 or something over the entire year. 80,000 words on my assignments, and I was just like, what? So a couple of them had like 20,000 each. I was just like, whoops, whoopsies, just giving them more to, you know, have to mark. But do you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how long it is. It could be the shortest piece ever, but still be the most incredibly detailed piece and get you the highest mark ever. So another tip I'd say is obviously focus your time on like getting your apprenticeship stuff, like your, whether it's a degree level 1 or whatever level you are, get the coursework done, but equally make the most of working, because you'll be surprised on how lucky you are really to have such a great opportunity. You've got into a job, that's a huge step. You've got into a job. Be proud of yourself for that and make the most of that, because if you're like me, you're only there for a year and you've got that 1 year to kind of impress them enough to stay there. And though, even if you don't get the opportunity to stay there for whatever reason, it's still a great experience for you. So you've got a year's experience behind you, which is a lot more than anyone else really would get. And obviously you've got your qualification, you've got a lot of different skills that you don't even understand yet from working, from your like training sessions. There's just so much more than you understand. Like, I even forget sometimes. So like, I work a lot with online customers and stuff like that, so I have to speak to them a lot, and you kind of forget that you actually have that interaction, and you get to learn how to communicate effectively with people like that. And it's things like that that you just completely forget. But not only that, just making the most out of all of your employees that you have there, your colleagues and stuff like that. For me, I worked in quite a smaller company, so it's still quite big, but I got to know every single person in the company, which I found really, really helpful and really, really fun as well, because it meant that, like, when we go on our little parties, so our summer party, it meant that you could have that really good environment and banter with everyone. So yeah, like, there was lots of drinking, lots of dancing, and flying planes and quad biking. It was just so much to do. It was actually ridiculous how much we did that day. But it's just things like that, like flying in a plane with your CEO. Who would think, you know? But make the most of every opportunity that is thrown your way. If they ask you to do something, don't be like, oh, I don't know. Just go for it. Like, what's the worst that could happen? But anyway, you guys, I really hope you do well in your apprenticeships, if you are in an apprenticeship, or if you're even debating on an apprenticeship. I believe I've got a video, I can't even remember the names of half of my videos, but I'm pretty sure I did a video in the past about the benefits of doing an apprenticeship. So if you enjoyed this video and think, well, maybe I do want to do an apprenticeship, maybe go over to that video and see if it could be for you, to go over the benefits. And yeah, or even if you're not doing an apprenticeship, you're like at university, or whoever the hell you are, if you know someone that's gonna potentially go into an apprenticeship, maybe this could help them. Anyway, you guys, like I said, good luck in your apprenticeships and good luck in whatever the hell you're doing. I will see you in the next video. Peace out, bitches.